On August the 24th, 2010, a joint Australian and Afghan patrol set out into bandit country in the Tangi Valley in western Uruzgan province. The plan was to bring the area under the control of the local Afghan army commander. Near the village of Derapet, the patrol was pinned down by Taliban fire.
Probably not really surprised, really. It just happened, that all of a sudden it was on.
We peeled left into the green zone and moved up through the irrigation channels towards the enemy forces.
Very thick marijuana crops. So you'd fire on instinct rather than visual all the time.
My gunner observed a couple of, at that range, looked like ants running up the side of a hill, out of the green zone up onto another feature, which turned out to be Dan Kieran and a couple of his A&A brethren, and as well as Sean Parker.
And I went probably too far in that first little bit and nearly got myself killed in the first sort of minute of the contact, because they could clearly see me and they were engaging me. And not just the guys in the low ground, but further and further up the valley. All of a sudden it just erupted from several different locations.
So there was a close quarter fight going on down low. Dan got up pretty high, and then at maybe 5 minutes into it, I threw red smoke to mark our forward line of troops.
You've got two ASLAVs sitting up there. They've both got two machine guns and a 25mm automatic cannon each. Each of those shells that fires, it explodes with the force of a hand grenade.
I don't think I'd been in a position before where the labs were firing rounds so close to us, and I know it gave me a shock because it's a 25mm projectile. They
kept coming. In fact, the rate of fire increased, no matter how much fire we were putting back.
Crash was moving up onto the high ground when he was hit. We found out as we were in the aqueduct that someone had been wounded.
But then it came over the radio, like the seriousness, or I suppose the urgency in the voice that said, "No, we need a medic here now."
Then we knew the Black Hawk was coming in to pick them up, so we knew it was a serious wound.
And then us giving covering fire while that's going on. Then you got the fire support still kicking in.
I want your group with me as well. Follow.
And then hearing that he had no signs of life and that they were doing CPR was quite, devastating, because just before that we'd heard that the member was crashed.
Physically exhausting, giving a guy CPR for up to 30 minutes.
What happened was, as soon as we took a casualty, we wanted a chopper in, so you needed clear air, clear ground.
That's the chopper.
Said to him, I'm going to try and draw fire onto myself.
Yeah, I'll have a pop up, put a burst while you have a look.
Give them some, breathing room. If someone's taken all the fire away from them, it will enable them to be able to look after him better. So
Dan and Sean and their two A&A were just getting absolutely wild up on top. They were just complete bullet magnets up there. Everyone just found the last location where they'd seen an enemy and just started shooting away at it. Everyone did that.
There's 3 insurgents in there. Fire! Up! I'm 100! I'm fired out!
Which I think provided enough of a suppressive effect that the helicopter was able to put down, get Crash on board, and then take off again.
And I'll say right now that the American chopper pilot did an exceptional job to land on this really, really tight spot. I mean, he did not have much room, and somehow he got it in there.
It finished up about 3.5 hours or something like that. We walked out, sombre that our friend had died.
But, his life wasn't in vain, because, I think we did do a lot of damage to the Taliban in the Tangi Valley. And I know that Crash, he was killed doing what he would have loved doing, which was moving in to engage the enemy.
Any Australian that got killed, we thought the best way to honour him was just to keep doing our job. And that was our job to be there. We all chose to be there, and it's sad, but we thought that's the best way to continue. So we had to then go through the processes of working out what happened that day and then moving on for the next patrol.
Uncommon valour was a common virtue within the people on the ground that day.
Corporal Kieran, with complete disregard for his own safety, broke cover on multiple occasions to draw intense and accurate enemy fire to identify enemy locations and direct return fire from Australian and Afghan fire support elements.
And we honour
Corporal Daniel Kieran was awarded the Victoria Cross for his actions during what became known as the Battle of Derapet. Other soldiers awarded for their actions were Lieutenant James Fanning, the Distinguished Service Medal, Sergeant Sean Lanigan and Private Paul Langer, the Medal of Gallantry, and Private Sean Parker, a Commendation for Gallantry.